Good afternoon, everybody. 13 News at noon starts with breaking news. In just the last hour, we've learned an 18-year-old man is under arrest in connection to that mass shooting in Bloomington over the Little Five weekend. Lewis May is set to appear in a Monroe County courtroom in about an hour from now. He is charged with 2 counts of battery, a count of criminal recklessness, and a count of pointing a firearm at another person. You may remember this shooting. It happened a couple of weeks ago, back on April 26th. Investigators tell us a fight broke out between girls on Kirkwood Avenue, probably the most popular night spot, one of them certainly, near the university campus. Bloomington police say 2 men then fired off rounds into a crowd of people. Investigators believe one of those men was May, and they arrested him at a Taco Bell in Bloomington yesterday. Our Ella Rhodes is heading to Bloomington right now. She's going to bring you the update from the courtroom starting on 13 News at 4 in just a couple hours from now. Busy day, we'll get to that. We've also got election results from yesterday's primary, including some upsets in the state Senate. But I want to get to our forecast first. Sean Ash is here with a look at that. We saw a little bit of sunshine this morning, but more clouds than anything else.
Yeah, I know. Thankfully, the clouds are going to have more bark than bite because we need to dry out. About 15 after, we'll dive into the rain numbers. Impressive ones at that over the last 24 plus hours. But let's get you caught up on what's going to be going on this afternoon. So yeah, we did have some sunshine this morning. We might have mentioned this yesterday, but if you missed it, we said, hang tight. That be a little deceiving. Clouds will likely win the war in the sky today. That's what's going on here. You can see mostly cloudy. You might see a few peaks occasionally, but generally this is what it's going to look like today. Some filtered sunshine. But we are not talking about the rainfall that we had over the last 24 hours. We need to dry out. We had some flooding earlier today across parts of Brown and Bartholomew counties. Mid-50s right now. We're not going to add too much to these numbers. Now, radar showing some returns. A lot of this not reaching the ground. Some of it occasionally might. We're going to keep in about a 20 or 30% chance of a few spotty raindrops here. As we look at the map, temperatures compared to 24 hours ago, you can see the drop there in the southeastern part of the state, because remember that front was still along the 70 corridor. Here's the map for today as we look upstream. Not much happening. There's the front that caused the temperature drop and squeezed out that rainfall. At this hour, live look over in Connorsville. Indianapolis showing double nickels right now, and as we move through the afternoon, we're going to hover anywhere from about 55 to near 60 degrees. Much colder tonight, potential for some frost. More on that and an updated Mother's Day weekend forecast in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Turning now to the Indiana primary results. A handful of races here in Indiana getting national attention because President Trump backed the challenger, and it appears to have worked. In some of those state or Senate races, the incumbent lost their seat. The Trump-backed challenger won the primary. At least 5 of those Senate races. In District 1, Daniel Durnall lost to challenger Trevor DeVries. Then District 6, let's move to that one. In District 6, you can see that Rick Niemeyer lost to challenger James Starkey. District 11, Linda Rogers, a longtime senator from northern Indiana. She lost to Brian Schmutzler. Rogers had held that office since 2019. She was also the chair of the Pensions and Labor Committee. District 19, Senator Travis Holdman lost to Blake Fichter. Holdman was chair of the Senate Majority Caucus. He's another longtime lawmaker from in office since 2008. Now let's move to District 21, which you see on your screen right there. Jim Buck lost to Tracy Powell. Buck is the longest standing lawmaker on this list. He was first elected in 1994. District 41, Greg Walker lost to Michelle Davis. Walker has been in the Senate since 2006. Davis has been on the other side of the State House. She was a House representative since 2020. All of those sitting senators who lost their seat had voted against congressional redistricting late last year, which prompted President Trump and a lot of special interest groups to go after them. We're also learning that 4th District Congressman Jim Baird will be back on the ballot this fall. Our Alex Almanza talked with one of his challengers last night about going up against a candidate backed by President Trump.
Yeah, and we spoke with Craig Haggard, who says that he went into this knowing that there was a small percentage of taking that seat But Haggard went up against two other Republicans in the race, John Piper and the incumbent Jim Baird. Now, Baird's time in Congress is already a big advantage for him, but to have a Trump endorsement is a huge ticket win to have. You may also have seen the ads on TV, Baird touting his tenure and experience in Indiana and D.C. Meanwhile, Marine vet Craig Haggard kind of came out as this newcomer who challenged the status quo, stepping away from the General Assembly to focus his attention on this race. And from the time those first numbers came in tonight, nerves were already high. But here's what he had to say following the projection.
I'm used to taking challenging things. It's once again why I joined the Marine Corps, because I wanted to challenge myself, and I'm going to continue to fight for Hoosiers, and I want to represent them. I want to fight in D.C., and so it's not over.
Haggard also announcing to 13 News that he plans to run again in District 4, and he doesn't plan on giving up. Now that things have started to wind down here in the Indiana primaries, all eyes are set for the November election. And in District 4, it'd probably be no surprise that the Republicans continue the representation. In Mooresville, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
And from the State House to Congress, Democratic State Senator J.D. Ford won the Democratic nomination for Indiana's 5th District congressional seat, so he's going to face incumbent Republican Victoria Spartz in November's general election. Ford beat 6 other candidates in last night's primary with 43% of the vote. He says his focus is on affordability and accountability. We also asked him about data centers. He says this is an issue he's been active on and going to be active on in the future. Ford previously authored a bill in the state Senate to create more reporting requirements for data centers. Didn't make it out of the committee, though. Victoria Spartz won her primary last night, but challenger Scott King got 40% of the vote, despite having no FEC fundraising filings. And Jefferson Shreve will also be back on the ballot in November to try and keep his seat in Congress. He had an unexpectedly close call in his primary. Sarah Brown came within 7 points of an upset in that race for the 6th congressional district. Shreve ended up with just over 53%. Cindy Worth will try to unseat him in the fall. She defeated 3 others in the Democratic primary. She walked away with 58% of the vote last night. Congressman Andre Carson is celebrating a primary win as well, but certainly not without a test. This is the biggest one he's faced in years to keep his seat. He faced 3 challengers in a pretty crowded primary in the 7th. He won over 60% of the vote. That's the closest margin, though, he's had since his first primary back in 2008. He usually sees about 90%. This year, he's faced criticism from challengers saying he hasn't done enough for Indianapolis during his time in Congress. This issue of affordability, from housing to utility bills, it's been a big issue in this race. Voters had to decide if they're happy with Carson's performance over nearly 2 decades.
This is what democracy looks like. And if someone wants to run for an office, I think that they should. However, the voters have spoken, and Congressman Carson has been doing an amazing job bringing money to the community and serving his constituents very well.
That was Party Chair Mila Eldridge saying despite the competitive primary, she's confident the party will come together come November. And there are dozens more races across central Indiana. We can't get to every single one of them on the air here, so you can find all of the latest results. We've got them all posted for you right now online. Just go to WTHR.com/elections. In other news today, a 37-year-old man is dead after a shooting on Indy's east side. This was the scene around 9 o'clock. Let's take you there. There it is. This is along Windsor Drive near 21st and Arlington. That's where police found Cornell Deshawn Davis shot inside a home. Minimal details surrounding the shooting, but police do say a person was detained at the scene and later released. If you have any information that could help investigators, call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. And also on the east side, police say a fight ended in a deadly shooting last night near 10th and Emerson. Detectives say a group of people pulled out their guns and started shooting. The coroner tells us 26-year-old Isaac Garcia died. Another person was last listed in critical condition. Now to the high gas prices and the pleas for relief. Today, Governor Braun is expected to let us know if he will extend his suspension of the state's sales tax on gas. It's currently set to expire on Friday. Here's a look at what we're paying right now. According to Gas Buddy, the national average up another 5 cents overnight to $4.53 a gallon. Our statewide average here in Indiana, it actually fell 3 cents to $4.75. Governor Braun is expected to make his announcement coming up in about 20 minutes from now. Our crew will be there. Of course, we'll update you just as soon as we learn more.